We are confronting the past between each other and with the Married at First Sight couples. You are almost ready to watch the Married at First Sight after show. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
What you have to do to make a relationship work, and we have lots to talk about tonight, so I will get us started in your favorite way. You sure you don't want to start? I'll start.
No, go.
Hi, it's me, Heather Yerrid. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Heather Yerrid. And to my left, Desola.
Hey everyone, my name is Desola Balogun. You can find me everywhere at Desola_B. Really just Instagram, follow me on there.
And hey guys, it's Ally Nasta. You can find me on Twitter at Ally Nasta. And on Instagram, you can find me at Ally Girl.
And I'm Tessa Cevaal. You guys can find me on all social media at Tessa_Cevaal.
All right, so since it's all or nothing, let's get cracking. Now, as every episode starts, we have to look at the end of last week's episode. So we're wrapping up Labor Day. So let's talk about the Labor Day wrap-up between all the couples. We were left with a cliffhanger. Oh my God, where did Ashley go for 30 minutes? Was she cheating? Because the music implied it, but she wasn't. All she was doing was confronting her sister. Were you guys surprised?
No, we said it last week.
I mean, I thought she was in the bathroom last week, and then they were just, it was like 5 minutes. And they're like, where'd she go?
And you know what's even funnier is Anthony cuts in after they find her and says, I think Ashley handled that situation great. I was like, wait a minute. You just said she left for 30 minutes and you were pissed about it. Like, I'm so confused with what's happening right now.
like,
That's
what
one of those things when you realize that you've overreacted and you're like, that didn't bother me at all. I didn't care. You know?
Which I guess is good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she at least could have said that she was going to talk to her sister. Because he's like, you want to get drinks? She said, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she could have called while she was
in
getting the
line.
drinks.
Yeah.
Touche, Tessa.
Totally.
Nancy Kaufman thinks that Allie's got some cute pigtails.
Thank you. I was trying something different today. No, thank you, Nancy Kaufman.
So we'll cut to Danielle. What a great bonfire that gentleman had going too. I don't know if
It was huge.
Yeah, I'm a big bonfire fan, but that was great. I was very impressed.
You are?
I love bonfires.
Bonfires
I don't
are
like
fun.
the way we smell when we leave though. Because
I
like you were
love
cooking.
that.
I don't mind
smell.
it. Yeah, it just like brings me
I
like
love campfire.
Yeah, campfire. It is just like when you're on a campfire with it just makes me happy because you're usually like talking and chatting with people and it's a good crowd. It's so much fun.
Well, unfortunately, we didn't see the couple, Danielle and Cody, talking and chatting together. Even when Cody invited her on the back of the, I forget what they're called. What's it called?
Tailgate?
Turn bed. The tailgate thingy. It was pulled down. He goes, you can sit up here. She's like, oh, I don't want to smash the graham crackers. Did you guys catch that?
Yes.
Oh my God, you don't want to smash the graham crackers.
I'm like, I'm smashing them.
yeah.
Remove them.
Yeah, like eat
Smashing them.
Oh my gosh. See, there we saw the filter in action. Like there was a hesitation there on her part. But we'll get to it a little bit later. She definitely did some awesome things to get through those.
Definitely.
For sure. Now, Han Dynasty, we solved the mystery. Were they at their own apartment? They weren't. So that rooftop party or wherever that was not there. But I was shocked. Did you guys have any idea that what we were seeing was partially, I don't know how to say this, but not 100% authentic? Sheila doesn't want to talk about real problems on TV. Nate's saying, we fight often. What did you guys think about that? Were you surprised?
No.
Wow. Tell us
Because-
more. Tell us more.
Well, no, because we've seen a big history of them, you know, not wanting to, or arguing a lot, and Sheila not wanting to say certain things, and she's like, well, you know, on her interview, she says, well, I know I look this way, but I'm really this, or you know. So I'm not surprised that she did not want to talk about it on TV. Maybe there's more to the story, like with her and her best friend, than what she wants to say publicly on TV. Who knows?
What if they do? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No,
I
yeah.
was just thinking, what if they do have a past?
No, I don't know. I don't think it was that. I think she just didn't want to be on TV looking like it was going wrong.
Yeah, because I think they're at the point where they're like a month in, and I think she's starting to realize that maybe it isn't her favorite thing to
What isn't her favorite
constantly
thing?
have fights on camera.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you
Because
think the
when
camera's
you're
making her
with-
uncomfortable.
Yeah, when you're with new people, you're vulnerable as is.
Yeah.
So then also having a camera there, I think would just be really hard. So
I
I
think a
get it,
camera
Sheila.
makes it
I get
even
it. I
better.
would not.
I love having cameras around, don't you guys?
I mean, I really enjoy having a camera around, but I could see where she
In a
would be.
moment like
I'm
that.
joking, by the way. I was being sarcastic.
Oh, I'm being serious.
Okay.
Oh.
I don't know. I really don't
She's
mind
like,
it
where
at
the
all.
camera at, please?
Yeah, I don't mind it, but I could see where it would upset her. But as we saw the experts say, this is going to cause a huge block in the relationship, because if they're not doing it on air, if they're not doing it now, then why are they staying together off camera? They don't even know if it's going to work or not. You know, I was just really surprised.
Just resolving their issues off camera.
Well, they're trying to.
Yeah, and I think maybe that could just be what's good for them.
What's good for her, because it wasn't good for Nate.
Yeah,
Nate was
let's
not.
just do it now.
Yeah, Nate wasn't having it. He's like, I don't give a fuck about them. Please excuse my French. He was like, I don't care, and she was just not having it. I don't want to have this conversation with you. He is really bending here again.
Well, you know what? In Nate's defense, that is the most frustrating thing when you get into an argument with your significant other, and then they say like they don't want to talk about it at that time, and you're like oh, you really want to just like lose it. Like, what do you mean? No, we're gonna talk about it right now because we don't have time to be angry at each other for the rest of the night. Let's just get it over with.
Yes.
So I'm sure that was so frustrating for him, just because it's easier just to talk about it then and there and just leave it.
Definitely.
You know?
Okay, so I agree with that. I agree that it's easier. No, I'm very passionate about this topic. I believe that it's better to talk about it right then and there. As Pastor Callis has said, some people like to brush it under the rug until they cool off. Yeah, what do you guys think?
I think it's terrible to brush things under the rug, because then those things tend to fester, just like dust under a rug. If you don't vacuum it for a while, it's going to be gross, you know?
Touche, absolutely.
And I think that your issues are no different. The more you brush under there, it's going to come out one way or another, and it's going to be bad, because you're going to have all these things subconsciously in your mind that when you finally have that breaking point, all of those things are going to come out, and you'll say it's fine at the moment, but then you go back and you're like, well, I thought that wasn't something that bothered you. Because you say, no, it's fine, and then those people think it's actually fine, and then it continues to bother you.
Just like
and
dust.
it builds up.
Yes.
Yeah, it builds up like dust.
Yes.
I kind of disagree, to be honest.
Really?
I have found in like my past relationships, I become just completely irrational, and I think like my boyfriend does too. So I think we tend to just, yes, we're gonna talk about this in the morning, because we cannot.
You're emotional. You're more emotional than you are logical.
So like out of body, and that's just not good.
Is it where
So
you'll
then
say,
we talk about it the next day, and it's way better.
Wow.
Is it where you'd say things that you would regret if you were to talk about it at the
It's
time?
like I literally cannot, like, I lose my ration. Like,
Yeah,
I
you're
just,
emotional.
it's like everything just all, let's just, I can't, it's
I
like,
can
you know when you
understand
talk
that.
to a child and it's like, they're not getting it. It's like 2 4-year-olds fighting. That's why I feel like.
Wow, at least you can own
makes
that.
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
right?
God,
Really.
that's wonderful that you have that self-awareness. And at least that you guys are committed to talking about it the next morning. Some couples
That's
won't.
our thing now.
Yeah, some couples won't do that. Some people will be like, no, I don't want to talk about it anymore, which is exactly to Ally's point. It'll just fester and get horrible.
Right.
But I think we're seeing a lot of authentic conversations with these couples. So we're going to go take a trip down memory lane. So they call it Confronting the Past, but I think they should just call it Family Trips, because that's basically, what this was, right?
Yeah.
So we go to A Squared. Let's start with A Squared, right? We are going to Michigan. Hello. I love your mom, Anthony. I love her.
Oh my
sweetheart.
God, she's
Wow.
amazing.
She even, I felt welcomed into her home, and I'm watching in like California behind a television
Yes,
screen.
and she's very authentic. She was like, I hope they move home. Wink, 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 wink. I was like, I love you. I love you, man. I love you.
I got so emotional during this
did too.
scene. I was totally cheering up.
Yeah,
I think this whole
oh.
episode I actually cheered up, and I don't know.
Thank God I'm not
if
the only one.
I was super emotional this episode.
Were you
but
watching
maybe-
it like wink, 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 wink?
No,
That was funny.
I thought I got emotional too. I felt very a lot of compassion for her when she said when Anthony moved to Chicago, it broke my heart. But the fact that you're he's with you now makes me more happy than ever. And I think that was very authentic. Thankfully, they hit it off very, very well.
Yeah.
Now, the sister, on the other hand, at Elena's house, first of all, I don't remember him having a sister. Did you guys remember that?
I don't either.
I don't.
I guess
think
they didn't
so.
speak about her.
Yeah.
She was gorgeous, by the way. I loved the
was
light
pretty,
eyes and the
yeah.
long hair. Her very direct nature, I have to respect that. What did you guys think about
I was
that
like,
confrontation?
oh my gosh, this is just like Ashley's sister.
100%.
Hello.
100%.
They have the same sister.
Yeah. So
You should
I
be
think
used to it.
the sisters are gonna be best friends.
Ooh, so you see Lauren and Elena being besties.
Yeah.
You're sitting in the
totally.
corner like talking crap about people and stuff. It seemed like those people, sitting there like, look at that girl. She's not right for him. Let's tell her.
I'm going to be surprised if they do not bring that up between each other. I'm expecting A Squared to have a conversation, actually say, oh, you have a very overprotective sister yourself. I thought we were going to see that this episode, but we didn't. They didn't even address it, really.
I feel like that's something that they probably would speak about just in private. Like, have you noticed that like your sister is like really like my
Like mine?
sister?
Yeah.
Because both of the sisters seems like they'll be very offended if one or the other says something negative about them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is something, and a good time to talk about it behind the camera, just because we see how aggressive both of the sisters are, and no one has time for that, you know. They're a little much.
And it's not even super. It's not like it's in a nice way is how they're being, you know, aggressive with it, because they just both want the best for their sibling,
Yeah.
which is the best thing ever, because they care and they love each other, and that kind of shows their family dynamic, that they love each other and they actually are close.
Did you think Ashley looked intimidated?
No.
I feel like she was looking exactly how she looks when someone's like, how when the therapists are speaking to her or Anthony, and where she doesn't really want to say anything, or she just kind of like whatever, or doesn't agree with the situation, you know, how she always just sits there and looks and is like, well, what do you mean by that, or whatever. And she was asking the sister questions also, how she always does. So I feel like she was okay with it.
I think she looked a little intimidated. And Unfiltered
so?
with Jamie, she said she wasn't. So you guys obviously saw something I didn't, but I was like, oh wow, I think she might be a little bit intimidated.
I don't think it was intimidation. I think it was just maybe a little confused, because she said, one, you know, he didn't bring girls around a lot. I think there was just a lot that his sister threw at her at once.
Yeah.
So she was trying to rationalize everything she was saying and answer questions to maybe make his sister feel a little bit more comfortable about her. So I think it was more of a thoughtful look, more so than intimidation.
I love that Anthony said she's just putting it out there. You ain't gonna get sugar with her, you're gonna get vinegar. A whole lot of it. I thought that was a great analogy. Overall, how do you think Confronting the Past went with A Squared as far as the family visit?
I thought it was great, and I thought it was really funny that they talked about the teeth thing.
Oh my gosh.
$30,000.
You brought that up.
$30,000.
I told you all that his teeth were fake.
Yes, you
I saw
did.
him
You
the
did.
first episode. I was like, this guy's teeth are amazing. They're not real. Like,
Well, I
there's
think
no
I
way.
might have even
This has
written...
been a thing with Desola literally
Every episode,
single
I'm
week.
like, oh my god, his teeth are so nice. They're not real. Oh, they're so great. Because honestly, like, I'm obsessed with teeth. I have braces twice, and so I like always pay attention to people's teeth all the time. I'm like, oh man, because I really wanted fake teeth, you know, because they look great. So
The veneers.
yeah, like his teeth are wonderful, you know. So I knew they
They
were
are
fake,
great.
but they're good. I don't know why he didn't own it though.
Yeah.
He should have just
He
said
said
like,
it was weird. He said he wasn't ready yet.
But if someone sits there and keeps complimenting your teeth,
I would be, yeah.
Like,
I would be like,
I
you
would-
know what? Actually, I got kicked in the mouth, and these ain't real.
like honestly, like I think that's a little weird that she would compliment him for a month, and she said she always talks about his teeth, and he just like doesn't say anything. Like,
I mean, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people do that about things. I don't know how many women openly say like, okay, I'm just going to put it out there because if I say this, people, my boobs are real. But I'm sure women get compliments on their boobs. They're not like, oh, really? They're fake. Like, I just bought these. Or, oh, you like my lips? Yeah, I have injections. Oh, my face looks great. I have Botox. Like, I feel like people don't own those
I
things.
would
So
own
what's
it
the
if
difference
I-
in a man not owning his teeth?
I mean, I feel like that's his significant other. And they're married, you know.
Yeah.
It's different when you're
I
walking
mean,
down
I
the
see
street
that.
and someone says you have nice teeth. I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, they're fake. Thanks. I'm like, okay, cool, thanks. But the fact that they're together and married, I would think you say, oh yeah, my teeth are fake, by the way. They're good, huh?
Okay,
Yeah,
I guess
no.
I could see what
But-
you're saying with that. I could see what you're saying. I thought that
Yeah.
overall, A Squared, it looked like a good, as expected. They headed off. Everything's great. Again. Okay, the conversation on the way to Michigan. Let's talk about the kids.
Oh.
Having the kids. Allie, you thought something specific about his face in that ride.
Yeah, I thought he looked, for the first time, I felt like he looked a little annoyed and stressed out.
For the first time,
Yeah.
every time she talks about kids, he looks like that.
No, but this is the first time it's actually, I feel as if it was more of his, he felt very tense. He looked tense and not as comfortable as they usually have been with each other. So for me, I just kind of thought, oh wow, this is something he is really confused about. What's going on in the chat, guys?
Oh, they're just cracking jokes about like this. Deirdre Ricketts, hey girl, is saying out Heather, this fat is really mine. Yeah, me too, girl, me too.
I didn't get it, but
No, I think that.
I think I get it now. Because you said
Yeah.
the boobs are
Yeah,
real.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they made it fat. No, I think that the reason he felt so uncomfortable, though, is because she basically, in so many words, what we saw on camera, which he clarified and unfiltered, that there was a conversation afterwards, but he felt like that's the only reason you got married. You got married to have children. Now, surprisingly, I don't know about you guys, but the majority of the women I talk to, coach at times, they want to have kids. Their end goal at the end of the day is to have a child. And we hear Ashley say, I would have had one by 30 if I didn't get married.
Which I thought was a lot. Like, I had no idea it was, I mean, I guess I did, but for her to really say that, first of all, I thought that was really, like, vulnerable for her to tell
Anthony.
I was gonna say Andrew. I don't know where that came from. Don't you? I mean, do you guys think that? I thought that was like a huge thing. It almost felt like a secret to me.
Vulnerable to tell him that she would have
Had a baby with Adam.
Yeah.
No, that's been what she's spoken about every single time. She's talked about it everywhere.
Doing it alone and doing it in a relationship is so different, in my opinion.
She said, like, I feel like this is not a surprise at all. She's literally been saying the same thing from the first episode. Like, I want to have a family. I'm getting married because I want to have a family. She said, I have nothing to lose. Like, she wants a family. I don't think there's anything surprising about it.
It's a big thing to me to do it on her own.
I mean, that is
you don't
any
have
woman.
A real family.
Yeah, any woman who. I mean, that's a woman who really wants to have kids. And again, I feel like a lot of women these days, because this whole. I don't know. Again, I cannot. I don't want to bash IVF. I don't want to. I don't have experience with it. But all I know is clearly it has set some sort of fear in women that they can't get pregnant past their 30s. I know plenty of women that have gotten pregnant up until 39. But this was a concern for her. She wanted to not be the old mom. She wanted to have a child. So Tessa, to your point, I think that it was very honest of her to have that conversation. And I think it was a huge deal. And I agree with Anthony. I think the way that she worded it, she was like, yeah, I wanted to have kids. But I think he took it a little bit too personal. I would not have taken what she said as like the only reason I'm married is to have kids.
Well,
I feel like that's why she's married, honestly.
I mean, that's why most women are married.
Well, let's.
And you,
sorry.
No, she's being right. They're
I'm
married
sorry,
because they want to have kids and they don't want to be the only one that's not married.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, like the dumbest reasons.
Well, I mean, kind of going with tying all that in together, a huge thing that she said, which was the reason why she wanted to have kids, was a timeline.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Anthony said, why do you feel like you have to be on a timeline and be able to make these increments at certain stages and ages in your life? And I think that that's something that we subconsciously, we are very hard on ourselves, and you put age in such a huge bracket where you think, while I'm this age I've got to get here, and when I'm this I've got to do that, and that kind of goes with self-competition around people, because you see just like that where they're like, oh well I'm this age and she's at this age and she's getting married. It kind of you have this pressure that you build for yourself, and I just think it stinks that we all kind of feel that way. I mean, in certain ways, whether it be with your job or with your family, I don't think we should put ourselves on timelines, because we all have different journeys and things are supposed to happen at different parts in our lives.
Yeah, and that's
and different
really
times,
big.
and you can't put that pressure, but it's only human nature to put that pressure on yourself because you're in this stimulated environment with everybody around you. You can't help but compare.
Well, we're conditioned. We are conditioned by our own parents subconsciously, whether they know it or not, to believe that you must get married at this time. This is not you must, but hey, this is the natural pattern to life. You go to school, you go to college, you marry your college sweetheart, you have kids, you do this. That's the American dream.
Well, it's not even that, but I feel I'm saying more
Just
of our
in life in
personal,
general.
our personal selves tend to put our own timelines on things that we want to do, and it's just like when you want to get that perfect job, it's going to take a little longer than you expect. And just like kids, it stinks because we tend to do that, but it's just we can't live by
we're
that
not
timeline.
taught.
She's
We're
right,
not
though.
taught to not have a timeline. Like we aren't. There's no one that says take your time. You have plenty of time. Whose parents said that at this table? Hey, take your time. You have plenty of time to do everything.
Yeah.
Did any of your parents say that growing up? No. No one said it.
That's fair, but I get what she's saying, just because I also agree, and I feel like not necessarily timelines, but comparisons are like the death of people.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Like,
social comparisons. Horrible.
comparisons are the death of people. Comparisons and jealousy. I notice a lot of people are very, jealous about, like, let's say if someone is married, like, oh my God, I wish I had that life. And people really use the word jealousy very loosely. Like, oh, I'm so jealous. I never say that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not jealous of you. Good for you. I'm happy for you. I'm going to do
Yeah.
my own thing. Because what you're saying is 100% true.
Yeah.
It's like, everyone has their own life that they're going to live. Everyone has their own path.
Right.
And when we try to live someone else's life,
It's not going to work out.
yeah, because we really don't even know what's going on or what they have to do to get there, you know?
Exactly, and I just think that we all, it's just something that it kind of struck me, because, I mean, we all tend to do it, and
Yeah.
you, even in your head, you want to not, but it's natural. So I just hope that, like, if anybody was watching that or whatever, I just hope that it just, don't put yourself in so much pressure and just try to live the journey, because
Everything comes in due time.
yeah,
And what will be,
and
will
I
be.
it just stinks
Yes.
because
Yeah.
And you will end up with the wrong person. I
mean,
say
that's
this all the
majority.
time.
That's
like,
majority.
so many women, like you say, like even like in my personal life, I know so many people were like, oh, I need to do this. Like they're like almost 30 and they're like, I need to get married and I need to do this.
And they
I'm
just
like,
marry who they're dating.
Yeah,
They might
and
not be
that's-
that person.
yeah, and I'm like,
Yep.
look, let me tell you something. If you decide you want to get married that bad and you end up marrying the wrong person, then you're gonna be mad because then you're not gonna want to get divorced because you're worried about what other people are gonna think
Right.
and this and that. Like, don't do that. Like, take your time. It's not like
And-
find the right person.
And like I mean, I know it is different now because our generation is tending to get married later in life, but technically it could even be better maybe because
To get married later?
we're learning more about ourselves, which then can open us for that right opportunity with that right person.
That is correct. That
Because-
is the way it should be. You
because
should
we
wait
would-
till you're older for that
we'll
reason.
Learn. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, my moral of that was that I feel bad that everybody feels that they should be on this timeline when we should just give ourselves a little bit of slack.
Right, and where
You
we
know?
see that happening with Danielle is this social comparison and this timeline and this jealousy. So everything that you two just touched on is a great lead-in for Danielle.
Yeah.
Or again, we're cutting into where she's taking him. She's taking him to the park where she was spent a good 10 years of her life with her ex. Pastor Cal gave her the A-OK on that. Said, okay, I think it's okay. You should confront this. But we have Cody say openly again, I'm jealous of my brother. And I'm jealous of the relationship that he's starting to have. They're getting intimate. So let's talk a little bit more about that. You know, Cody deserves a clean slate. We see Danielle do a very cathartic process, something I also recommend to my coaching clients, writing a letter to your past. I normally do someone specific. She wrote a letter to her past, she burned it. I feel like some of you guys felt
I
some
think
type
it's
of way
weird.
about that.
I just feel like I'm not gonna sit there and waste the time to write it out and then burn it because just the kind of person I am,
Yeah.
that's not gonna do anything for me personally.
Right.
But everyone works in different ways.
Right.
For me, I will just have to mentally try to burn it because me writing on paper and burning it is not gonna do anything for me personally. So I thought it was odd. But you said that
I love it.
works a lot.
Oh
for
my God,
people.
it works for me too. It's a very cathartic process, like burning something and literally ashes to ashes, dust to dust, and that release of that smoke. It is an energetic thing, right? You really are releasing that past. And you're right. For some people, it doesn't work because they're like, I'm just going to go through the motions. But Danielle, to me, she comes off as like a spiritual person, and I think for those that are kind of on that road, it really does work because it is an ending, right? An ending is with fire. Fire is one of those big things. So I thought that was cool to see.
I think what was so great about Danielle in this episode is that she really owned what she's going through and all the things that, you know, it might have seemed frustrated to an audience. I thought it was so great that she was able to openly say, yeah, I'm not over, I need to get over this, and that is what's holding me back. And the first step to anything about moving on is to be able to admit to what you're going through and openly say it. And I think that's exactly what she did. And I even said, I think she's doing a great job of letting this go and even writing it down. And I think bringing Cody to that spot was a huge thing because now her last memory of that spot is going to be with Cody. It's not going to be
Replacing the memory.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Replacing the memory. How great was this question? How different is the Danielle then from the Danielle now?
Yeah.
I loved that.
Yes.
And I think that was great. And now she's able to look back and they're starting new memories. And I think this is a really it's part of a breakthrough for them. And I know I've said this before, but I really do think this time it's an emotional breakthrough for the both of them.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think we're now moving forward. I don't see us going back anymore. I only see us taking baby steps to a better Danielle.
Yeah, that gazebo scene was great. I felt that 110%. And she said something very important, which helped me understand her better, which was like, I feel understood.
Yeah.
As soon as she felt understood, they grabbed his hand. They seemed to be hitting it off. And me personally, this is what I was going to say out there, but I held it in. I think he is perfect for her. I think she has had the cheater, the Rico Suave, which she was sexually attracted to. She has had the too nice person who she said we didn't work out in some ways. I'm sorry, I'm going to make an assumption. I think that's sexually. There was no drive there because there was no kind of chase for her because we all get conditioned to that type of a tumultuous relationship. It's actually more addictive than love, to be like, research shows that. So I think he is perfect for her because he is so faithful and yet so like manly. Like I think a good old country boy who gets his hands dirty, owns a gym and all that stuff. To me, that is a man. That is the epitome of me. He's not Metro. I mean, I love Metro men. I think Metro men are really manly men too. But you know what I mean? He seems like he fits the mold, but her ownership of the comparison is big.
Well, I think that Dr. Pepper Schwartz made a good point, and she was saying that once she stops comparing, like putting the comparisons on Cody, she's gonna like kind of, it's almost like she's breaking the ice and realizing he's coming out. Her hero is breaking through that wall that she has up and that barrier that she's holding in those comparisons. It's kind of just gonna get shattered, and I think she's gonna see the real Cody once she lets those things go.
And why? My thing is, if she had such a terrible experience with those guys, why is she even comparing them to Cody? Like,
because it's hard not to.
But I don't really understand. It doesn't make sense. If he's more positive than the ones that she was in a relationship with for 10 years, so why do you want that same guy over?
But I think it's...
Yeah, so I don't think it's that she wants... I get what you're saying. So I believe it's that she doesn't want them over. I believe that at times men and women make up an imaginary shell of a person that really never existed. We want to believe the person that we gave our lives to for 10 years was this amazing person. Ashley probably wants to believe that the man she stayed with for 5 years was going to marry her, but they just weren't. So once they're gone, some people have this tendency to create this whimsical, like, oh, he was great, even though he was bad, he was great, or that was a big part of my life. I think that has a part to do with it. She, again, is stressing, to answer your question directly, she keeps saying she is associating letting it go with neglecting things that she's learned. She's like, I've learned so much from this. Why would I want to let that go? But I think she needs to separate the two. And I think that might be too, like, why, you're right. Why would someone want to hold on to that? Why wouldn't someone be like, F that, I'm done? But something clearly deeper happened with her to not be able to. But again, those tumultuous relationships are addictive. They actually, research shows that fear and tumultuous relationships are as addictive as cocaine. Like someone that is a cocaine addict. It's a mental thing.
Crazy.
It's a chemical released in the brain. Absolutely.
For certain people.
Yeah.
But I think too, I really liked what you said there about, you make this idea in your head of that something that was good when it wasn't. And I think it's because you don't want to admit that something was that terrible, and so you only hold on to the good.
Great point.
And so because I feel like I've done that in past relationships where I'm like, no, but they did this for me and they were this and they were that. And then literally my friends will be like, what are you talking about? Hello, do you remember this, and this? And like even my mom like will be like, do you remember this that they did? And I'm like, oh my, I forgot about that. I literally forgot about that. But that's because when you have to become single again and like have to realize that you're like, oh, and you trying to be all, but that's not real. That didn't happen. But it's just that's what you do. You tend to. But I think, we're seeing breakthroughs right now. What do you guys love?
Well, I feel like you never want to feel like you wasted your time, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
You want to make it feel like everything you did was valuable to some extent.
But sometimes you have to just own it.
So then you make it seem like it was better than it was.
Well, and speaking of owning it is that I think some certain personalities, you want to own the fact that they were nice because you want to make sure that you, like, I don't know, I feel like sometimes if I've had a breakup, it's I tend to blame myself a lot, and so then I'm like, well then I did this to them to make them want to go, and then I kind of, I think my memories and my thoughts get like intertwined and like, and then I just start like feeling like, oh my gosh, I did something bad. I feel
like that's the worst thing.
I feel like Ashley
because when you blame,
like
exactly.
Ashley does that,
like what did I do wrong? And then she gets defensive.
You feel like you're gonna get annoyed.
And it's like I feel like that's the worst thing when people just automatically blame themselves. That's like the one thing that I never understood. It's like and this has nothing to do with dating relationships, but I've watched a lot of like shows and stuff where people who have had like a parent leave. When they were young, would like say that they blame themselves for it or whatnot, and I never get that because I'm just like, why would you blame yourself? Like what do you have to do with it? But I guess it's certain personality.
Unless the mother,
types.
Some moms are like, oh, if I wouldn't have had kids, like they literally say that to their children.
That makes sense. But you know what I mean? It's just interesting to hear that because I never really understand how, especially if you really didn't do anything. I mean, sometimes it is your fault, of course, but if you really didn't, it's just interesting how like some people put the blame on themselves just to make them feel better, or I don't really know what it is.
Well, I think it's like you try to rationalize the situation and try to put the pieces back together almost. You try to think what could have changed.
Like where did I go wrong?
Yeah, like what could I have done different in order to make that situation better for it to have progressed in a positive way rather than a negative way. But then at the end of the day, I feel like for certain people it helps you learn, it helps you grow, and it's like, oh, well,
you have to do that.
If I would have done that, yes, it may have worked in a different relationship, but it didn't work for that one. You know what I mean? So it is all, like, all those pieces are also scattered, and kind of what Danielle is saying, like, I can relate with her on certain things, but all those scattered pieces you kind of have to put together and realize, and I think that's what she's doing with like writing the letter. She's realizing, okay, now I can let that go. And I've learned, and she even said this show, like, it's helping her learn about herself, I don't know if she said the show was. Bless you.
Thank you.
But like it was something along those lines of like she's learning about herself, and it's something that you have to look back at and really kind of like digress and figure it out. And I think she's figuring it out.
For sure. I think she really figured it out when she made the candlelight couch. Hello.
Yes.
Who was expecting some lovey-dovey in that moment? I was.
I was.
You weren't.
Please.
You knew it wasn't going to happen.
Desola is always the one like, girls, nah.
I loved this moment.
I did too.
I felt like, and I liked that Cody said he's like, I know you've been giving like 100%.
I don't believe that.
I
Sorry.
don't know. It made me kind of rethink everything that's been going on. Like maybe there's a lot that we're just not seeing with Danielle.
I think he was just trying to be nice and compliment
Exactly.
her. I think he was saying, I do.
Like,
I think he was saying,
he
like,
just
look,
said
I
he
know
didn't
that
believe
I know that you're giving, it's like my thoughts on emotional capacity. Some people can love, and when they love 100%, that means they're giving 80. And some people, when they love, they can only give 40. I think Cody really knows that, like, Danielle's giving her 100. And that's it. And I have to be okay with that. I have to accept that. So I know you're really giving 100. I think that was his way of just being the amazing person that he is, saying, I know you're giving 100% and doing the best you can. This is just really hard. And I thought that was great. I definitely thought that was great. But talk about some good editing. We see that he go, oh my God, amazing. And then on Unfiltered, we find out, womp womp, it was s'mores.
Yes.
Definitely.
We thought it was lingerie or something.
Yeah.
We want to know when we are wrapping up with the show and you guys are commenting on YouTube, how many of you also thought it was lingerie? And live chat, if you want to share as well, that would be great. But I definitely thought it was going to be lingerie, and then we were going to see some hanky-panky, but not so much.
Yeah. You know what? I think... Well, first of all, we knew that wasn't going to happen. I did. I think it's just so interesting. I was just going back to what you're saying. I've never thought about that before. Like someone else's 100% is not the same as your 100%, even if they really think that they're giving 100%. Though she's not giving 100%. She knew she wasn't giving 100%. She has said, even before when she said, I know I can do it. She said, I can. I know I can, but she wouldn't say she was doing it. But it's just interesting to me. And you made a good point with the kind of person Cody is, because it's hard, depending on who you are and your personality. For me personally, that would be hard for me to say that to her, but like, oh yeah, I know you've given your 100%.
Not.
Because me, I'm the kind of person I can't really lie that much. Like I'm more of like the ball buster. Like
you're like Elena. You're very honest. Like, vinegar all day.
Not like that. Not like that to that point, but to the point where it's like if she did that, I'd be like, but okay, well, I'm glad you're trying. But I definitely wouldn't say I know you're giving your all, because I'm like you're not giving your all, but you're trying. So cool. Yeah. But I couldn't lie like that. Some people can, lie just to make someone feel better. I can't do that typically. You know what I mean? I'm more of like I just won't say anything kind of person.
Well, because I feel like that kind of hides up your own emotions. If you lie about something like that, if you know someone, especially in that kind of scenario, if you know someone's not giving 100% to your relationship and you're hiding those feelings, you can't help but explode that later.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that right now where we're not seeing any faking at all, except for just not talking about on camera, is with Han Dynasty. Because we see those awkward moments live. Like we didn't see any awkward moments except for Sheila and Jennifer, right?
Yeah.
Nate's mom. So let's talk about Han Dynasty and their blast from the past. He visits 3 people: the maternal grandparents, the coach, and his mama. I believe that this man has literally been crafted by some solid people, because those 3 visits to me, even his mom, Jennifer, I understand. When I heard her say, like, that's my son again, and a couple of the comments, I literally thought of my mom. I'm just like, God, now I know. And my mom's like, because my mom's like, if you do this and we don't know, like, don't go off and get married. That's doing us a disservice. Don't do this. Like, we're your family. We deserve to see these moments. So I could see where she was upset. Whose parents were... Did anyone get that? I don't know if there was anywhere, but the grandparents were whose parents? His dad's or his mom's?
I think his mom.
Okay, so those were his mom's parents?
That's what I kind of took away, because the only reason I took that away is because the mom has been more in his life. And so it seems like, maybe when she was like working, he was there at his grandparents' house. That's kind of what it seemed like to me.
Yeah, what did you guys think about that? 50 years strong.
That was lovely. That was adorable.
Can you imagine being with someone for 50 years?
My grandparents have been together that long.
Mine were before they passed. Yeah, I think it's scary.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I get afraid signing a 6-month lease. I'm like, ooh.
I just think that's that's lovely, and it's just sad because sometimes, I mean, no, I'm not gonna get into it, but I'm just like, that's sad because sometimes it like can't happen at, like, you can't make those marks because a lot of,
Because society today sucks.
well, yeah, because like you think about them, like they probably met when they were at 18 and then they fell in love, and I just feel like
She's going back on what she just said. And
Yeah,
everything, so she
she's
can't
going
say.
back, I think.
She's like, because they got married at like 18 and stayed together, but she's like, damn, I just said get married when you're like 35.
well, no, I'm saying
No,
that it's hard now,
Yeah.
and like you have to accept the fact that, like, I mean,
Things aren't like
how
that
old,
anymore.
how old, like my age, I'm like, well, I know I'm not getting married in the next 5 years. I know that because it's just not logical.
So you're like maybe like 30, 40
yeah, like
years.
if I would have met someone and been able to get married at 18, but my parents probably would have been like, excuse me, you're going to
it's
college.
different. Yeah, it's different. Oh, don't get started on that. Let's go back to the Mother's Day
Yeah.
card that was read. How amazing was that? I love you. I want you to have all the happiness that Nate wrote that. I love him. I love him.
Really cute.
What a sweet card from a child.
Yes.
I did
I
not
know.
write things like that when I
It
was like
very
10.
deep.
Yeah, it was
I was
very
like,
deep.
I like your shirt. Like,
I think I was deep as a kid.
I like your
can't
shoes,
remember.
probably, right?
I thought it was good for us to see, again, we saw 3 very quality visits from Nate. I was very surprised to see the coach. Was it the basketball coach?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because when he made a shot. It was,
Yeah, he taught him a lot about what he knew. Did you guys find it interesting that he went back to his coach's house?
Yeah. I mean,
no, because I feel like a lot of guys, like my sister's boyfriend is super close with his high school coach. And I feel like I've found that more and more, and I just think that's really interesting,
I think
actually.
that's a very interesting thing, even that you bring that up, because I was just watching something the other day, and they said something like what teacher in your high school career made an impact on your life, and I was thinking like no one. Like what the heck? No, honestly, I was thinking because I was like I didn't even like school. Like, but is that a common thing? Do you guys have a teacher that you can automatically
do.
think about?
I mean, I have a teacher that I can automatically think about, but
Really?
no one that I keep in touch with because I'm so
Yeah.
far away from
See,
home.
I do. I still talk to my high school theater coach.
Wow, really?
really.
See, that's cool.
Every time I go home to Colorado, I always see her.
That's
Doc,
wonderful.
Hey,
Really
Doc.
nice.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I had a basketball coach when I was playing church ball that I loved, but we had to I just dropped off. Like that relationship dropped off. But I think it's possible. But I thought it was very great that he visited his coach, and the fact of that was a monumental moment when he shared with Sheila that Jennifer was slow to warm up.
Yeah.
In that moment, Sheila was able to see, hey, it's not just me. It's
Right.
not just me. And I thought that was pretty great.
It kind of gave, like, as an audience member, it gave me a little bit more leniency on his mom and gave her
Agree.
a break, you know?
Agree.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about it. Let's go straight to, all right, they visit mom. I want to say something very direct that this could cause a shitstorm on Twitter, but I really don't care. Do you think Sheila makes the comment, Nate's dad's called a couple times, we've had some great conversations. Was that passive aggressive?
I don't
think so. I think the mom took it. She was like, well, I didn't get a call. And I'm like, did you not just hear her say Nate's dad called?
I know.
Which is, I get what you're saying.
But
Maybe she did it on
exactly. So, but why not just say, call us anytime? Not like, no, well, Nate's
Well,
dad
I
called
think,
twice.
But what did she say before that, though?
They were just talking. Well, they talked about the
hotel.
hotel, and then Nate was like, "I'm gonna let you 2 ladies talk." And she goes, "How's everything been? How are you doing?" And her mom was like, "The wedding was a lot for me." Like she said, the wedding was a lot, and there was those awkward silences. Which again, I appreciate the awkward silences
Yeah,
because they're
it's
real.
real.
Yeah, they're very real. But I think both of those women are trying to be ladies. I think Jennifer and Sheila are. That's
But
why
if the
we
cameras weren't there, they'd be like,
Yeah, I think that's why we see a lot of this. You know, like where's the?
I think one of them just needs to open up, and I think maybe if Sheila, maybe she is like being a little bit more extending of niceness than you normally would. You know what I mean? I think at this point we're seeing that Jennifer just really needs to be almost embraced, you know, and just out instead of just trying to be on the surface and not overstep the boundaries. Like maybe overstep it a little and just be like, listen, I'm gonna be here. I want to be here for you whenever you're ready to talk about whatever this may be, whatever you're going through. I'm here for you, and I'm going to be here for you because I'm going to be here for your son, kind of thing.
Great point,
Wow,
Ally.
you knew what to say.
Yeah,
Wow.
so you think that if she would extend her hand instead of respecting her boundaries, because she is respecting her boundaries. Sheila blatantly said that she's the one that said hotel. She didn't want to intrude. So you think if she went that extra mile and was included, awkward or not, that would make his mom feel better?
I
agree
so
with you.
in a way.
I agree with you.
Feel loved.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with
She
you.
doesn't feel loved.
She feels left out.
Yeah, and
She feels like she's left out.
I mean, that in Sheila's defense, that would be really awkward, knowing that the mom obviously doesn't like you. Like, there's no question.
But that's the thing is, though, I feel like she needs to be like, not to force her to like her, but to let her know, like, I'm gonna be here for you, and I know this is like, because the thing is, though, that stinks is that his mom is going through a very emotional time because it was something that she was waiting for, this wedding in Nate's life. She probably had been picturing it her whole life in a different way,
or maybe hoping not. Maybe she was hoping Nate would be his or her.
I can see that.
You
I mean, she
never know.
said, "Am I still going to be the queen?" That's what the mom said to him. Remember that.
Yeah.
Don't ever forget that line. Okay. So, but I can understand where the mom's coming from, just in the sense of, if I had a kid and my kid was like, "Oh, I'm getting married to a stranger," I'd be like, "What the hell are you talking about? Like, what stranger are you getting married to?"
Yeah.
But then you would have to separate yourself and say, "You know what? I don't agree with what you're doing, but I'm going to try to get to know them since you want to get to know them." You know what I mean?
Right.
So I feel like on both of their parts, there needs to be
some sort of
something.
give.
But I don't know. The mom is really standoffish though. It's like uncomfortable. So I'd be like a little, like, she just sits there. And
I think
gets
I
like
would
a
just
little-
keep
Get
trying.
it though.
I would just keep trying.
Yeah.
I would keep pushing and pushing and pushing. So, total, altogether, scale of 1 to 10, how do y'all think do home visits went?
I think they went great, and I mean.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of opening that kind of happened even more to seeing like Nate's background and to seeing that he's very loving and warm, and so is his family. And I think that opens up a good emotional thing for Sheila, because then she can realize, okay, like, he's really going to be there for me. in the long run.
I think all of the visits were great. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing
Except
happened
Danielle. Yeah,
negatively on-
Danielle didn't have a home visit per se. That really was a blast from the past. I thought that was also interesting. I don't want to get too much into the psychology of it, but the fact that it was called Confronting the Past. Both couples, A Squared and Han Dynasty, they went to family. Danielle did not. Again, there was not. She took him to a literal spot of her past 10 years, not to family.
Well,
I thought that was interesting.
The difference of it is their families all live in the same, like, vicinity.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
and all the other ones were out of state.
Oh, I don't remember
Yeah,
that.
so
Or in a
they like
different
went
place.
home, which is kind of
Like, remember
going.
Michigan and
and which is
far.
kind of going to the
And
past.
she's already been around. Remember, Cody and Danielle have already had get-togethers at their house with, like, their family. and
Yeah,
stuff.
you're right.
So-
Yep, I remember that.
So it's a
Yep.
little different
Yeah, good
compared to,
point.
like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
good point. I think all the visits went well. I think all the confrontations of the past. And again, I see 3 couples that are growing. Very, very surprised that A Squared and Han Dynasty, they are already talking future present. It's, again, this is Married at First Sight history. Actually saying, hey, we need to find our permanent home.
Yeah.
No couples have talked about that on air ever. So that was, I mean, I think, again, now we have 2 solid, definitely, that are married. We have Sheila, who changed her last name, and Ashley, who's saying, where's our next place? That's a no-brainer there. A total no-brainer. Completely 110%. So let's wrap it up. Let's get to some predictions, see what we're all thinking and feeling for next week.
Okay.
Your AfterBuzz.
He's really excited. Tessa, talk to us, girlfriend.
For the first time, because I have not said this yet, I think they're going to consummate Cody and Danielle, their marriage, the next episode.
Where?
Amazing.
Where that gonna happen at? Sorry.
It's like and I think actually I don't really have another prediction.
Okay, so you think consummation of the marriage, Danielle.
I'm just thinking 3 for 3. I said 2 for 3, 2 out of 3 last week. I'm going back to 3 for 3.
Great.
Because I think we had an emotional breakthrough for Danielle.
Great.
Oh, it's me.
Yeah.
I never think anything because I never really, I don't really know. Like with Cody and Danielle, I don't know what's gonna happen with them. In the chats, everyone is still saying that they don't think that they're gonna last, and they don't think that Cody is right for her, and da 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 da. So I don't know if I agree with them, but I kind of can see where they're coming from. But you never know, because one thing I will say is Cody has such a great personality that's not shown on the show. We've spoken to him kind of like through social media, and he's so funny.
He is.
So funny. Cody, you're my favorite.
Yeah, and none of that is shown on the show so much. It's always tense. So that could be a side that they always have together that's not shown. So we never really know.
Right.
But I think Sheila and Sheila and Nate and Anthony and Ash are going to stay together for sure. I mean, I don't know if they're going to stay together forever, but I think they're going to stay together after the show and
Definitely.
try it out at least, because they really do kind of love each other, I think.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so I believe that we are going to see Sheila opening up more about issues in their relationship with Nate. I think that she's going to maybe get a little easier because Nate mentioned the fact that, like, look, I'm always giving in to you and leaning in for you. So I think we're going to see that. I also think for the 4th week in a row that Danielle is going to consummate their marriage. And with A squared, do I have a prediction? I'm going to say this more so as a hope as opposed to a prediction that Ashley is going to open up about why she is on the defense with what Anthony says so often. Because I'm referencing kind of the beginning of the episode when he was like, oh, just in case I get annoyed. Oh, you think you're going to get annoyed?
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
that's so annoying.
I'm hoping that we see a little bit more conversation there because she did say, we will see more of the conversation in the car that will open them up and get them closer and closer. I think they're all a great relationship, and I think all the couples are communicating very beautifully. Even Danielle and Cody are being authentic.
One quick thing I'm going to say about, like, my prediction is that I think that A squared, someone's going to say I love you before the end of the season.
Woo, woo, yay. We're going to have some I love yous thrown around. Love it. All right, great.
I feel like Sheila and Nate would say it before them.
Well, hopefully.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, dueling, whatever you want to call it, predictions. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. And as usual, good morning to some of you that listen to us in the morning. I'm going to start us off on where you can find me. You can find me, Heather Yerrid, at Instagram and Twitter. Desola, where can I find you?
You can find me at Desola_B, DAYSHOLA_B on Instagram. I have a great story, you guys. Follow me. Like, really. I'm great on Instagram Live.
He really is. And guys, you can find me on Twitter at Ally Nasta and on Instagram at Ally Girl. And if you're interested in any other after shows, we are actually on July 11th starting a new show on Freeform called The Bold Type. We'll be taping that at 10 o'clock on Tuesdays, July 11th.
Exciting. I'm Tessa Cevaal. You guys find me on Twitter and Instagram at Tessa_Cevaal.
All right, guys, thanks so much for watching and tuning in. Definitely don't forget to leave your comments on YouTube as we love talking to you throughout the week. And we will see you next Thursday,
Bye.
same time, same place.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.